we start to ask ourselves, all right, there's a lot of people online saying consciousness, woke, and all this, flash shit. Instagram, it's like, it feels like a new fad. It feels like it, you know what I'm saying? But, you ask yourself, you're woke, right? You're conscious. But what are you conscious to? I mean, you start to expose the corruptedness in technology, the corruptedness in, let's say, the government, the education system, all these things. You could shed light on these things. It's very important to shed light on them. All right. But the whole thing is does that make you conscious and woke? Okay. Yet you're aware of something and you're also empowering it with your attention. The more you actually add energy to it. However, you must understand that you're only conscious to whatever they want you to be conscious to. And I say they for a reason. Okay. And I'm going to get into this. The corruptedness that you see outside of you. All right. True wokeness and consciousness is going to come into the sense where you start to see the corruptedness in you. You see, humanity is a parasite. All right. And humanity, I say it as a whole. But then again, there's really nothing out here but you. Right. You're the one that's experiencing this reality. Being conscious and woke and that's why I've mentioned in previous videos that the way you manage the government, or the way the governments are managed within you, the way the systems are ran, the way you as the CEO run your business, you minding your business, is the way that you're going to be perceiving your reality. And yeah, the veil's being lifted to the corruptedness, but it goes beyond layers of that. Once you start to see the corruptedness out there, what are you doing? You're in victim mode. You feel like somebody's attacking you. You start to ask, why would they do this? In actuality, the real wokeness is when you start, because the thing is that you're only seeing what these eyes want to see. That's all you can see. You're experiencing this reality through this vessel, and this vessel is part of this reality, part of this matrix. So you're seeing whatever the eyes want to see. So you're conscious to whatever they want you to see and be conscious to. You get what I'm saying? But anagram for heart is earth. When you're looking at it from your heart space, all right, you start to look at the world from a neutral standpoint as an observer. And then you start to realize that that corruptedness is exactly how humanity is corrupted. Again, I made videos on the symbols of power, money. What do people actually value here the most? Things of emptiness. Money is an empty value. It's only valued by people because we agreed to use it as a means of exchange. People actually have killed each other for money. People have actually backstabbed friends. Relationships have been broken because of money. And money, like I said, is just paper. It's not backed up by anything. The difference between printing up $1 to $100 bill ain't shit. But people will put 100 times more value on that $100 bill, right? But it's the collective that put that. The reason money has value is because of the value and attention people put on it. Notice how people chase money. The majority of people. All right? The majority of people go to work. All right? And put their time. Blood, sweat, and tears. Some of their jobs are very laborious. And they break their back for an amount of money that maybe they should be getting paid more, and they know that they should be getting paid more. But they have to settle for it because of whatever living conditions they have, which was all brought on by yourself. So no situations out here that you're in is there because anybody did it to you. You did it to yourself, right? And it's a mental state. You're going to experience your reality based on your mentality. Now, this is why when you start to see all these things outside of you, okay, such as like, let's say Elon Musk that I spoke about. He made this company Tesla. He invented SpaceX, right? They have you believing that you can leave space. And it's valued by investors at $1 trillion. But the thing is, you have to know that you are those investors. But why? Because look at the way people go after technology. When the latest iPhones come out, when the latest computers, or when the latest technology, and then this is the thing though. When you're experiencing life through the ego experiences competition. The ego experiences desires, anxieties, fears, and all these things. When the new iPhone comes out, there's a line. Some people don't even sleep. They're there overnight waiting to be the first ones to get that phone, right? What value does that phone really have? You notice how they slowly creeped up these prices on these phones over time. I remember when they were just like $200. They're like more than $1,000 now, right? And they know some people can't afford it, so they have financing available for you. And then you pay it off every month. Along with your bill, you're paying for the phone with interest. And how much does it even cost to make a phone like that, right? That technology is something that you connect with people around the world. You get into the internet as well. But then, again, all these things, all these gadgets, the same way SpaceX, the reason you look up to it is because you see that they can do something that looks, you know, supernatural. They can go to another planet. Yet, where do you put yourself in that equation? You look very small compared to those people because they have money to leave space. They have the money for the fuel, the rockets, all this expensive machinery to leave space. Meanwhile, that technology is obsolete. Okay? The thing is that you already have this technology. The same way you're not aware of the corruptedness in the systems outside of you, right? Because you don't realize that you're the one that's corrupt. You also don't see the fact that you have these resources and power that they have. So it's like you have to see the things that you have the abilities to do, and they're actually free. Okay? But you give your energy away, which is more valuable than what they have in the sense of money. Okay? So why? And I suggest you watch my videos, The Symbols of Power, because the symbols of power will have you realize that, you know, like attracts like. All right? And when you become a symbol of power, that's how you attract the money into your life. And it doesn't, and what is true power is putting that energy into yourself. You experience these projects from an unconditional loving space where money is not even on your mind, but you become that symbol of power, right? But what does that require? See, here's the thing though. To me, true success is being able to say whatever you want, how you want to say it, do what you want when you want to do it. You use your time when you want to do it, right? The whole thing is that a lot of people have a lot of shadows. And the reason they have shadows is because they put pieces of themselves locked away into the deep abyss only because society deemed it unacceptable. Society, you know, parents, friends deemed it unacceptable. So you hid those parts of yourself away. And in actuality, all right, when you unlock those pieces of yourself, you may find those hidden treasures. Okay? And you don't let them loose to wreak havoc in your life. No, you use these things, but you integrate them. You integrate them. And you also utilize them, and you accept them with unconditional love. And as I've said before, if you want others to treat you a certain way, you got to treat yourself first. If you want to change the world, you got to change yourself first. All right? These things that you have hidden within you that people have found unacceptable is because you didn't accept them. Or you felt that negative emotion toward it. So you hid them away. The moment that you accept them and you integrate them and you accept them with unconditional love, everybody else is going to accept them exactly how you did. And let me tell you something. When you empower yourself, these people will not even have a thought or a mentality to fuck with you. Because you're emitting that power. That energy is going to be emitted through you. This goes beyond intimidation. So you say whatever you want to say. But look at how technology is ran too. You can't say certain words on YouTube or they'll censor your video. Right? This is happening even on a global scale. It's like the World Wide Web is experiencing a worldwide shadow. See, the internet, everything that's presented to you, like I said in my previous video, is a revelation. It looks like they don't have your best interest, but these things are actually blessings in disguise. You're actually able to see through how this is actually working is how your technology works. You don't have to read 1,000 books to figure this shit out. You know, even just dialing a simple number. How many phone numbers exist on the planet to call everybody around the world? Everybody holds a frequency. Even the color of your skin. You see, this is the thing though. You actually, when you go to sleep, you dream. You dream of people, places, and things. Okay? And this can go deep because you dream about people, places, and things that you're experiencing here. And this is a carbon copy. Okay? So you're still experiencing the carbon copy of things. But however, when you dream, those are all in symbology. Everything is in symbols when you're in the dreamlike state. That's how the subconscious communicates with you, right? Now, there's dream books to decode things, but only you can decode these things. When you're experiencing life out here, you're in a dream in and of itself. You are here by yourself. And everything that you're experiencing, including the government, the systems that you see that may be corrupt or you may be for, are symbols, including people of color, Asian, Spanish. These are symbols. A black person to me is symbols to me. That's, you see, that when we talk about melanin, when we talk about skin color, that's energy emitting through a person in some way, shape, or form. Melanin, a color, a shade, doesn't matter. It's a deity. It's a frequency even in and of itself. Colors hold frequency, okay? So that's what's expressed through that person, okay? When you go to different, when you travel to different areas, like I lived in New York my entire life. I lived in New York, in the city, concrete jungle, tall buildings, sidewalks, it crowded with a shitload of people. And I can tell you this from experience. I moved down to the south, okay? I live in North Carolina, and I got into things that I would have never even imagined, that I never even heard of, like gardening, right? And I'm gonna make another video as far as to what happens if you hate your job or you hate your situation now. That's gonna be my next video. But when I came here, it only took one growing season for me to feel like I'm a pro at what I'm doing. But because I did it with so much passion and love. See, over there in New York, I would have never thought about that. There's no green land anywhere. There's just pure concrete, buildings. You know what I'm saying? You go buy food in the supermarket and you don't even think about gardening. You don't think about shit like that. I came here to another state. It literally is another state of being. Even you change as an individual. The things you may do, it could be done through climate. It could be done through just environment. The people that are in that state change you as a person, right? Well, they don't change you, but they have an influence on you. You get what I'm saying? Because let's say if I have a fucked up mentality and I live in New York and I think I'm more spiritual, but I want to move to the South because I'm more spiritual and I want to get away from the city. If my mindset is fucked up, I'm just polluting the area that I'm going to. So it doesn't matter where you go. If you have problems and situations in the current state that you're in and you haven't fixed that within you, it don't matter where you move. You're going to experience that anywhere you go. Now, why I say it has an influence on you is the fact that I came here. All right. It's different energies that I was able to, tap into. They influence you. Okay. You get the influence, then you get motivated. And that's energy, emotion. It's an emotion. You start to work now. You know what I'm saying? You connect with things. This is why it's important to travel. But let's say if you can't travel, here's the benefit, because a lot of spiritual people start to talk about the cities, how they're, Wi-Fi pollution and all this crazy shit. But in actuality, if you really want to experience culture, go to the major cities, especially New York City. You'll find Indians, Chinese, you'll find Brazilians, you'll find Venezuelans, Colombians, Dominican. I'm talking about all walks of life. All walks of life. Egyptians, Iranians, Russians. You will go to New York and experience culture without having to travel all over the world. You will experience culture. But the whole thing is people talk about, filters and how it's so, polluted with Wi-Fi, so many different distorted frequencies. The reason you'll perceive it that way, and I've noticed this, is because you are distorted. See, if you clean your filters, that's what the point of, when you have a car and you clean your filters, it's filtering garbage, right? And it's utilizing the fluids circulating through the system, whether it be the oil, whether it be the fuel filter, whatever filters it may be, air filter, it's filtering garbage. If you don't have filters, or if your filters are clogged and dirty and you haven't worked within you to fix these filters, then yeah, when you go there, you're going to be experiencing these negative emotions. You're able to filter these things out and you can use these energies. That's why if you want to, let's say, play the hustle bustle game, you go to the major cities. You want to become a famous actor? Where do people go to basically network and, experience that at a much easier rate? Go to Hollywood, live in California for a little while and put yourself out there though. You get what I'm saying? But what do? You set your mind first to what you want to do and then you go there. You don't go there and don't believe that you're an actor and then just hope that somebody fucking notices you. No, you got to put yourself out there, but you got to see yourself there first, and then you go there and take the action. But it all starts from a thought. If you want to go to New York City, I can experience all different walks of life. And I got many different friends. And I've gotten a lot out of many different people. I come here, yeah, it's a lot slower, but man, it's a totally different experience. Totally different experience. When you're able to travel the world, you're going to have different experiences. Right? And this is the thing though. It requires resources. A lot of the times it requires money to travel. You get vacations, what, once a year from your job? So you get to only travel once a year. And then when you do, right, you're staying in a resort with a bunch of, let's say I went to Dominican Republic one time and stayed in a resort. I was staying with a bunch of European people. I didn't even feel like I was in Dominican Republic. I had to go back with one of my Dominican friends who actually grew up out there and gave me a tour around Dominican Republic. I got to taste the culture now. But what did that do? It required network, right? You got to see how you're living this life. Are you really free? Are you really successful? Do you do what you want to do when you want to do it? You get what I'm saying? Those are the things that when I see the corruptedness outside of me, I have to see where it is that I'm corrupt. If I'm disempowered, I have to find out where I am disempowering outside of myself too. It's all mirrors. You're going to figure this out a lot easier when you direct all that energy back to you. Because the moment you keep expending it out there, you're going to find yourself very tired at the end of the day. You're going to find yourself mentally drained and lacking spirituality and culture in and of itself. Because when you go out there, you're putting your energy out there. You're looking for things out there. There's nothing to find out there. That's why you keep running into fucking different rabbit holes, or you keep always finding yourself hungry for more knowledge out there because there's really nothing out there. So the same way, if you're eating food and you find yourself always hungry, that means your body's not getting nutrients because you're putting in the wrong fuel in your body. When you eat the right foods, you'll notice that your body's more satiated. Okay? Sometimes even eating certain things, especially the first thing you put in during your day, is going to determine the type of ghrelin pain you'll experience during the day, how your microbiome is set up in your stomach, depending on the first thing you put into your stomach. Okay? That's why it's important when you wake up in the morning, you set your day first. What's your intent for that day? Don't just wake up, because the thing is, you're trained to just wake up because an alarm clock has to wake you up because you always got to do something. No, start with you first. Set your day up. I literally set my day up this morning to know what I'm going to do. I've been training myself to do that. You know, you gotta observe these little things, including the fact that if you could take a peek that you're not your body, you know, I feel like you're playing a cat and mouse game with this shit. Before you go to sleep, if you can just, instead of falling asleep, you go to sleep, you can observe and stay aware and observe your body falling asleep, and then you see what happens next. Is the same thing. Observe yourself when you're just about to wake up. But don't open your eyes. Just crack them open. I did that one time, and I observed the darkest corner of my room. And all I did was I saw orbs with numbers, and then I was seeing like a grid. And it happened one time even when I was in deep meditation, and my dog heard a noise and he fucking decided to bark, and I woke up and all I saw was like a weird ass fucking grid right in front of me. But I'm seeing it through this vessel though. Again, I'm not really here. This is not even really a place. You know, and this is the things to take into account, man. All these things you're seeing out here. If you want to, what are you going to do? You're going to go out there and change the people's technology or Elon Musk? You can't do nothing. It's the resources they got, right? You got all these things, but what do? You got to use them on yourself. They're not giving you money, right? So why would you give them your resources by giving them attention or trying to change something outside of yourself? Right? They use their money and they're minding their business. You are aware of what they're doing now, but that's it. Now you worry about your shit, mind your business, use your resources, and don't give them your resources. As much resources that they're giving you, you do the same thing. Don't give them shit in return. I'm going to make another video and we'll talk soon.